You ready? Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you out to the regular board meeting, April 9th, 2026 at 8085 West, 3500 South, the Magnum Water General Office Building. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Public board and staff join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome the public and guests. And before I get started, on our diocese table is we have Trevor Andre, our district engineer, Dallas Henlines over our wastewater. Matt Skogable is with our water. Andrew Sumption is our HR. Jeff White, trustee. Myself, trustee. Danny Stewart, trustee. Leal Fitzgerald, our controller. Claire Gilmore is our legal counsel. And helping us stay at this meeting is Clint Dilly. Again, I'd like to welcome the public and guests. And does anybody here have a public comment they want to address to the board? Okay, moving on. Does anybody here today have a conflict of interest with what's on our agenda? God, this is easy. So let's move on to our employees. Are you going to talk about that?
Yeah. First, we have Quinn Grange, who wasn't able to make it up today. Quinn's on our sewer collections crew. He's working towards getting the certifications needed to be able to join the on-call service. And so he recently completed Water Distribution 2, which is great. He's moving right along quickly. He's a fairly new employee, and we're excited that he is willingly going forward with getting more certifications. The next employee that we have to recognize is here with us, Ed Tucker. He recently attended the Cross Connection Program Administrator course. It was a week-long course with a test at the end. Maybe Matt can go a little bit more in depth in what this does for us as a district.
Well, we're required to have an administrator on to recognize all our cross-connection controls that we enforce with our businesses and residential. So Ed will be able to help me to recognize plumbing codes for what's required, certain backflows in certain situations, and hazard levels. And so it'll be good to have him on to help me out.
So he can make a call if he finds a problem, he can he can pull a violation on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to, I mean, we have our authority statement in our cross-connection control program through the district. And
Awesome.
we'll be able to enforce that.
Yeah, it's been great. It's the first employee that we've had to go do this for us in quite a long time. How long has it been since you and Steve first did it?
It's been probably at least 15 years since I've had mine, and Steve's had his for 20 or so, probably.
So we're glad that Ed's willing to take on that role for us. Thanks, Ed.
Well, thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Okay, let's move on to our new employee.
We got Daniel Klein. He joined us just a couple weeks ago. He's working with Chris Thompson on the construction crew. He came with some experience working on cabinets. He's jumped right in. He's already working towards getting his CDL done so that he's able to start taking part in some of the more heavy lifting with the construction crew. Maybe you want to just take a minute to introduce yourself to the board and public.
Yeah, my name's Daniel. I'm Magna local, been here since '03. Went to Lake Ridge, rock running, Cypress, played sports, did all the fun stuff for that. I actually got my appointment scheduled on the 24th for my CDLs for a good test. So
That is awesome.
Nice work. Appreciate it, Daniel. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, am I good to go then?
Yeah.
The hard part's
Okay, let's move on to approval of common consent items. He could get out of here fast enough.
Minutes of the regular board meeting held March 12, 2026. Expenses from March 2nd to March 31st, 2026. General expenses, $1,172,936.70. Signs make bond payment, $83,530.83.
I'll second it.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on to department report. General Manager Clint Dilly.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. You've got the report in there. I'll just highlight a couple things from that. On staffing, we did have the service maintenance position for the water construction crew was filled by Daniel.
Yep.
On the office side, we completed 3 interviews yesterday for the office position, and I think we're ready to make a recommendation to the board. We had 3 good, high-quality candidates, and so I think we'll be able to discuss that and move forward with that if the board is supportive. The other thing that's come up since this report was generated, we do have an opening that came open on the water collections crew.
Sewer.
Yeah, sorry, sewer collections crew.
So have you posted, has it been posted
That's
in-house?
been posted in-house. It'll go open Monday.
We'll open it Monday to the public.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if anybody knows somebody that's looking for a good job, that are willing to come to work every day and work,
Yep.
that's what we're looking for.
And then we had a notice given, just barely, on the water side.
Yes.
For 2 weeks' notice, from Dallin to Hooney.
So now we're gonna have another opening.
So we'll have another open.
Geez, I remember back in the day, when I was young, you couldn't get a job here. I mean, no matter what you did, you could never work here. And it was so funny, because it was, and today it's like, since I've been here this last little while, it just seems like people come and they work and then they leave.
Yeah, it's a challenging,
Oh, there's a lot of demand,
yep, a lot of demand. out
competing
there.
with demand.
Yep.
So we need 2 people. Anybody know 2 people that are looking, that are good workers?
Fortunately, we have had some good candidates, I think, in the last few rounds.
Right.
But we'll be working diligently to get those filled and keep our crews staffed so they can accomplish their goals.
Still, I wish we were younger, we'd apply.
I feel bad that the office staff was pushed away just because of the pressure from people coming in. I wish we
Yeah.
had a way to.
We have talked about that. It's one of the items in here we can maybe discuss. One of the comments, I think that we have to find a good balance between working with the customers that need assistance, but also being firm. And if we also want to understand why they're in the situation they're in. But if we carry all of those hardship stories with us, that can weigh on us,
Oh, yeah.
right? So they've got to find that balance of, and so what we've discussed is limiting how many arrangements we'll do per year. Maybe to 2, is that the latest discussion?
Yeah, 2 is what we've been talking about.
Some people have made arrangements in the past, the repeat offenders up to maybe 6 times.
Oh,
So they'll have to make arrangements several times, and the thought is if we can limit the amount of times we do arrangements, and then send them to a contract as the 3rd option,
okay.
and then that's it.
I think your idea where you put things on pause for a minute, for some reason, that seems to get,
Yeah, that
from what I've
helps.
talked to other people, it seems to de-escalate that moment they have to pause for a minute.
Yeah.
It changes the
Yeah.
intensity.
I've always felt that we've been really good working with people, that's struggling and everything,
Yeah.
but
Just trying to find a balance.
I've never heard anything negative on our part, never, so.
it's kind of funny, people complain, it's funny, we'll issue a citation out on the street for parking, and we never hear a complaint, but as soon as we get a warning, they all go crazy.
Do they?
Oh, yeah, you can give a ticket and they don't say nothing, they just pay it, but if you give them a warning, they go crazy.
They go nuts.
It's all over social media.
That's crazy. That seems backwards, huh? But yeah, we'll I think Liao's gonna work on getting something prepared as a guidance, like a procedural guidance for that, for the staff, if the board's supportive of that approach.
I'm supportive. Hey, really quick, going back just to direction. So, have we gone back and just kind of look at wages of where,
Yeah,
look at the market?
So I do. I look periodically.
Okay.
I think the last time I did it was probably when we were at Rural Water,
Yeah.
in March.
Okay, I just want to make
I
sure.
would say
we-
that we're still competitive.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're doing that, to just make sure that we're in the ballgame.
Yeah, that bulletin board at Rural Water was packed with, job openings.
Was there really?
Yeah, they have a big, square central pillar,
And it's all sides.
and it's, it's 4x8, and all sides are full with notices.
We went through each of the job postings to see where if we're competitive, not just with operators, but with engineers and managers as well. It looked like we're in line.
Well, and the thing is also too, and when I was young, just a while back ago, But anyhow, we are always looking for a job that makes big money, right? And you don't stop and realize that this job, to have a job like this is very fortunate because, your chances of losing your job is pretty slim to none. And you got great benefits, you got a great retirement. So you got to kind of look at, the money's one thing, but you also got to look up outside there, because I know, like you said, back in the day, you could have went and worked at Kennecott and made a little bit more money, but you decided to stay here, and it was a great job for you.
Yeah, well, you go on strikes, them strikes that would kill you.
But
It was a great
some
job.
people trying to steal guys will make promises they can't keep,
Right.
trying to sway them away.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that might be worth really exploring with the union in the next contract is flexibility. I think a lot of the younger generation is looking for more flexibility with time off. They almost value that more than other benefits. So that might be something that the union looks at.
So when you say, when you mean by more time off, so, the thing that I look at it is for more time off, then how do we operate?
Well, that's the challenge, right?
And I don't think it's more time off for somebody like Matt Skogerbo.
No.
It's more time off for the new employee.
Or it's flexibility.
Yeah,
We don't let them take much unauthorized,
Yeah,
unauthorized time
we
off.
track the unpaid use, and if it's unauthorized, then
If they don't have time.
yeah.
But with the holidays they have nowadays here.
Yeah.
And then 4 days off,
Yeah, you would think.
they got plenty of time off. When I worked here, I had Wednesdays and Thursdays off, and there wasn't. And worked straight afternoons down at the plant. And there was wasn't that many holidays, was there?
I happen to agree with you. It's just
You got
different
Plenty
generations.
work ethics and everything now.
Changing generations.
plenty of time off.
They just don't see it that way.
I don't know, when you just start, you don't have a lot of credibility there, so.
You don't.
I don't know how you can extend that because it's
Right.
earned.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
Unless you
And I
want-
think-
Unless you want, Matt, you want to give up some.
I don't want to donate none of mine.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
And
So
Matt
it's-
loves those 3 days off.
if we
I love
come
them
up
3
with
days
something
off.
that accomplishes both goals, I think
They
it's
go way
always
too fast, though.
worthwhile to see if there's something that we can do, but
How much, so let me ask you a question. So for an employee, if they want time off, how much time off do we grant them?
So right now, the new employee, the following January after they hire, they get 40 hours of vacation.
Okay.
Along with the sick leave that they accrue each pay period.
Okay.
Of 2 hours per pay period. And then the following year, on the second January they're here, they go to 80 hours.
Okay,
And I think once they get to that, you quit having the challenges. The challenges is the employees from, say, we hire them in March, getting to January with no time off. And then some of it goes away, and then there's the people that still have a little bit of challenge with having just the 40 hours that first year. And right now, we do have the comp time 20 hours a year. Not all employees are able to build that very quickly because until they can get their CDL and things like that, it's hard for them to come out on calls.
Okay.
So but the board has been flexible with adding things like that. And so I think it's just worth more conversation as we go on, what's doable and what's not.
What are other people doing?
Yeah.
I think that's always good to look at.
Well, but it's kind of a building time because there's training and there's all that, and that's very important.
Yes.
That's why you guys have set it up that way. It's real important to establish that credibility, that learning and all the
Yep.
things, and how to work it in, and you don't take time off on a Monday when you've got a big project going on. I think you guys have done pretty good. I maybe explained a little more, but I think.
Okay.
Okay.
On the operations, I'll just highlight the secondary water. They're finalizing cleaning and testing and filling. Should be next week sometime by the end of the week, still hit the 15th.
Yeah.
Deadline.
The 15th.
We'll talk about the secondary water here at the Copper Club. There's a line item for that, so I won't hit on that here. Then the EDR crew has been starting and flushing and sampling of the drinking water wells as we increase demands coming into the irrigation season.
Yeah, we anticipate some demands on it with the warmer weather, but it still really hasn't hit a whole lot. I mean, the wells that we have flushed, we haven't used really, so it's
Good news.
been nice to see the public still conserving water, I guess.
On the wastewater side, Dallas has worked on that reuse, getting that up and going and help filling the reservoirs. They've been looking at options for the trailer, for the sludge hauling, when ET Technologies changes locations. We've had some discussions on the side dumps. Sounds like they're still not finished out at the site.
Right.
So as soon as they get that at a place where we can see how that operation's gonna be run and our options, we'll go out there and take a look. And then the collections crew's been locating and raising manholes, buried manholes throughout the district.
That's the first thing I thought of when I see him putting that sidewalk up, 8400, and I thought, I wonder if they know where that manhole is that got buried the last time, remember?
Yeah,
There's 4 that are in conflict with what they're doing, so
Okay.
we have a solution to the issue, but
Right.
yeah.
Wow.
on the office side, we talked about the past due collection procedures with the arrangements. The controller's got a draft of the no-fault policy in this packet. It still hasn't went to legal counsel yet, but we'll be able to discuss that here and get the board's feedback. And then with Yopify, they are coordinating with MeterWorks for the data that we need to support the AMI. And then Trevor found a grant application that looks pretty promising to help pay for some of this,
Yeah,
that he's
it's
gonna work.
through Water Resources, it's up to 50% of the cost. Has some things that we have to do, submit a proposal, and then we have to track, usage information and things of that nature to report, but looks like very promising.
So it sounds like we can fill that out in-house and do that.
Yeah,
ourselves.
and Yopify is gonna actually help us. They've worked on these for others.
Do we know how much that grant would be?
It's up to 50% of what your
Okay,
cost is,
okay.
so. I
Cost to build it?
That's a lot.
mean, to implement the,
Yeah, so they gave us a quote of like 18,000, so
Okay, well,
it would be, unless
Pretty
they
good.
add more, it would be 50% of that.
right.
Unless we can get some of the towers or some of that.
yeah, I think we'll try to lump in our anything to do with our AMI. I think possibly even our messaging, our yearly messaging through
that'd be
Yopify could be rolled in. So we'll try to maximize that, but
The gateways and the towers. That would add a lot.
Okay, delinquent balances have been trending back down, and the amounts, the
That's
numbers.
such a big number, Clint, for 173,000, but yet the balance is only $270?
That's the average of the ones, of those 170, or 643 accounts, the average balance of each individual account is
It's
270
270 apiece?
apiece.
For each one?
So do we still, when we go over and shut somebody's water off, and then is it still $100 connection?
That's,
Reconnect fee is
Yeah.
$100.
So once we shut the water off, then in order to get it turned on, they have to come give us $100.
We use that somewhat as a negotiation tool. We tell them that if they pay the full balance instead of just the past due.
We'll waive the $100.
Waive the 100,
if they won't respond at all, we'll add that to their.
yeah.
Yeah, 86% effective is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those get cut down dramatically by the red notices, and we don't need to send anybody out to shut off.
Okay.
The communication, just highlight a couple things. Magna, we're working with Magna Elementary on putting together a presentation for water conservation. They reach out to us. They want to redo some of their landscaping with Localscapes, so would be kind of joint partnering with Jordan Valley.
Okay.
Go out and give them educate some of the kids. I think that would be fun for the district here and a good community support. We held the pre-con with DR Horton and Salt Lake Excavating on the 4100 South water line. I think that's important for the board to be aware of with that high-profile project. We're hopeful that they'll begin construction soon, but they did have to order all of the parts. There were nothing really usable from what was out
Hey
there.
Claire, when was we hoping that road would start? May?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The good news, I think, is they're using the same contractor, so the road contractor and the water line contractor will be the same, so it will all be within their scope. That's at least what they've communicated to us.
Wait a minute, all the parts that we're laying out there
They're
are
no good.
usable?
It's been in the
Their
sun.
supplier went out and looked at them and wouldn't warranty them.
So in theory, change gaskets, the pipe's probably okay, but they, like you said, wouldn't warranty anything and,
What if they'll donate that pipe to somebody? You just have to put new gaskets in it, right?
Is that on DR Horton's dime?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They've had that pipe up there they've had that pipe for about a year, haven't they, sitting there?
It's been 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, we hadn't taken ownership of the pipe,
No,
so that's.
I'm glad we had that checked.
Yeah. We'll also we've got a Localscapes class with Jordan Valley next week here at the district.
What day is that?
That's the 15th.
Tax day.
Tax day, yep.
Wednesday?
That'll be Wednesday. Myself and Trevor won't be here for that because we'll be at the WEAU conference. But Lee Isle and Dallas, I was gonna cover that for us.
What time is that, 6?
5:30.
5:30.
Just 5:30.
Oh, I guess I should have looked.
And then we did have some calls on people asking when secondary water was going to be turned on, when it was real hot.
Yeah.
Some concerned people with their landscaping, but with the weather change, that's calmed down.
Yeah.
And then we have been getting some calls, the tattletellers are out on water wasters. So we are starting to get some of the water waste calls. We expect that that's gonna increase, especially after the discussion today, if we choose to change our conservation level. So that's my report, unless you
Okay,
guys.
and you got Jordan Valley's what we voted on yesterday.
Yeah, I listened to that.
Okay. Okay, Trevor, let's move on to you.
Engineering report. So influent pump station, things are going well out there, just cruising along. There's a lot of work. Progress is made all the time, but sometimes that doesn't show exactly, but just right now they're getting in some large diameter manholes for our kind of west side and our east side, coming in together. Some more underground piping, conduit runs, power is to the pump station, the screw pumps.
They were looking to start those up and grout those channels, but they had some, a drive was not delivered with those pumps, and they realized, so they're working with the supplier to get that out. So that got delayed a little bit. Still on schedule overall though. And in the grit building, a lot of electrical work and getting those grit classifiers set up to function. We've also done they've done some work in the East Headworks grit separators. So things are moving well there. Haynes number 8, we've got an item on the agenda. That was bid, and we got a good bid on that for the drilling of that well. We're working with the EPA. Things are progressing there finally. They've got all the documents they need and requested and changes, and so they just need to do their final checkoff, and then we'll have that grant application completed. And we'll utilize that grant for the pump station of that well. Westside Collection Project 1B. We've got the design of that fiber relocate complete. We had a meeting with all parties to discuss that. Got the drawings to the contractors, and their BD Bush, who is the contractor for that overall project, is getting in touch with some of UDOT's preferred boring contractors to get some costs on that fiber bore. So that's moving along well.
They'll have to abandon that existing fiber, and
Correct.
how will they run the new one? They gonna run a shallow or?
So we did a lot of potholing investigation in that intersection and throughout. We did more survey, and it's a mess through that intersection. There's tons of utilities, there's multiple power lines, multiple gas, we've got water lines, there's other communication. About 5 feet below the existing road, there's another concrete road section that was from the old highway. And so anyways, all of that adds up, and you look at it, and the only way to get through is to go lower than the,
Wow, 17 feet
Yeah.
lower than 7 for the fiber line?
yeah. So that's what we're doing. That's what the plan is. It's all been approved by UDOT, and everything, and so we've got that path forward. We didn't expect it to be this, but it's just,
And the company's still gonna do it, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and then, we talked with our driller that we have for our sewer. They're able to go through that conduit once the fiber's all pulled out. They're confident with that, and so that it's progressing, just taking some time. Westside Collection Project 3, we had a pre-design meeting. That one will be kicking off. Discussed, kind of general alignment, some things we'll need to coordinate there with Kennecott, things of that nature, but that project design is moving forward. Change House operations building, we've got 90% design complete. We've got a submittal into the city for the land use application. It's a permitted use, that's working through there. Zone 3 secondary water reservoir, we've got the 16-inch pipe all complete. They're just continuing to put lifts on the dike and grading in the bottom of that pond. We've seen a lot of just small spring groundwater coming into that area. Our original geotech indicated that there was water, but we're drilling a couple holes through that site, but this water has kind of been a nuisance, and it's made it difficult for them to dry the material out, on top of the weather that we've had and things of that nature. But overall, moving along well. We are looking at some ways to mitigate these springs, the water that's coming in, and that likely is going to be a change to the contract, putting in some kind of additional drainage.
Grade or piping or perforated pipe?
Yeah, right now it's a chimney drain is the idea, because a lot of it's coming in through the bank on the south side. Water's just coming through anywhere it wants along that slope. And so that's a challenge for them to finish the slope and those things, but we're working through that. Lead and copper, service lines, that's been going really good. We have pretty much all of our utility sides complete there. Working on the customer sides. The general public has been really great working with us. It's been surprising to me. I mean, we've had some challenges, like one house has 2 cars in the way. They don't know where the keys are, but we're working through some things, you know, so some surprises. But overall, the public's been great. The contractor's been good to work with, and so that's progressing well. Finish a feed tank, just moving along on design, and then, you know, with our master planning, we're working on rate analysis that we'll, you know, have discussions with in the future, but that's it.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
One thing that has happened since the last meeting, I don't know if you've seen, but they have mobilized on the painting. We were able to move forward with a painter.
On the ceiling.
Under the emergency contract procurement, since they were able to move right away.
Yes,
We were able to get a bid that was under the $100,000
correct.
limit within the general manager's authorization. So we moved forward on that to get that repaired so that we can get it back online. We have to get okay from Division of
Drinking water,
that's been submitted.
which I'm working with to accelerate that. We should have a letter next week,
Yeah.
so,
Just wanted to make you aware of that. Appreciate Don's efforts to
yeah.
help make that happen and in a timely manner, because if we wait, we're not gonna be able to get that back online for peak season, so. Wanted to make the board aware of that.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt, let's move over to you.
All right. Thank you, members of the board. All right, as far as the water production summary, the culinary water production for the month of March was 108.72 million gallons, or 333.68 acre feet, which was a 7.48% increase from March of 2025. We have purchased so far year to date, no, that's this monthly right there, probably.
Oh,
Six-
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
That's this monthly, had to be. So, I don't know this,
It's, year-to-date is 196.60.
196.60 acre feet from Jordan Valley Water. So that number's from just March, the 69.28. March purchased. Our call-out report for the water and wastewater combined, total number of call-outs was 16 for a total hours of call-outs of 51. So we had 10 water call-outs for 33 hours and wastewater 6 call-outs for 18 hours. 1 mainline leak, 0 services, and 15 miscellaneous. That's showing. And this gives you a breakdown of all what we had through the month of March. I think that's all I got.
What's usually a call out, the 6 call outs on wastewater, what are usually involved in a wastewater?
On the chart for March, we had a couple power bumps that resulted in ox ditch blower communication failures. So the operators had to go out and reset that equipment, verify that it was not damaged during the power disruption. Inside the scum well at Clarifier 3, there was some grit that got on top of the sensor that blocked that caused a communication fault. So they had to zip out there, spray that off, get that well operating again. On the screw press number 2, there's a wash bar that rotates as it cleans that press off, and it's got a flag on either side of the rotating barrel, and sometimes that proximity flag gets bumped out of place and it'll cause an over travel alarm. So they'll have to go out there and perform some maintenance on that, so.
So it's not out in the public, it's at the plant?
Correct.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Okay, Dallas.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to refer to the operations report for March of 2026. I've updated the parameter table to include our effluent ammonia. I've added the permit limit there in red. It's a 7 milligrams per liter monthly average that we have to be below. You can see for January, February, and March, we've been well under 1.0. The reason I added that effluent ammonia is the intent behind the parameter table is to give the board and the community an overall idea of the performance of the plant on a monthly and quarterly basis. So effluent ammonia, we've had some issues in the past, not for several years, but as oxygen becomes limited in those basins, the first red flag that we see is our ability to convert that ammonia to nitrate. The nitrate in turn is an electron acceptor. The biology can use it as an oxygen alternative. So that's one thing that we keep a close eye on. That's the first thing we lose, and it's also the last thing that we are able to get back in any type of process upset. So I thought it was important to add that on there. The plant's looking really good. Some of the monthly highlights I wanted to add was year to date for our total phosphorus at the effluent, we're 0.93 is the current trend. Last year at this time we were 1.13, so we're in a really good place with that. And then last year in March we didn't get any reuse recorded up to the system. This year in March we got just under 4 million gallons, and we hit the ground running in April. We've sent quite a bit of water up to those reservoirs. And then just to quickly switch over to the collections crew, Mr. Chairman, the Vector's currently operating around Copper Tree, flushing those lines, and then the camera's conducting its inspections in the Melville neighborhood. So unless there's any questions, Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
So did the weather, the mild winter we have had any influence on these good numbers that you're?
It certainly helps. It's not so much a good chunk of good weather or a good chunk of bad weather. What really affects the process is good weather, bad weather, good weather, bad weather. You know, if you're going from warm to cold, plus or minus 15 to 20 degrees, it can upset the biology. But good strings of good weather and good strings of bad weather certainly do help.
Well, because it looks pretty good.
Thank you.
The performance looks really good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dallas. Okay, let's move on to Lee Isle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On this report, the blue reflects completed items and the yellow reflects items that are coming up.
Yeah. Why don't you take a minute? You need to take a call? I'll go ahead and, will you go check on, make sure she's okay? Thanks, Andrew. I'll give Leal's report for her. So in here, the annual filing of impact fees report with the state auditor has been completed. We've got some quarterly budget reports to the trustees that are coming up in May, and some quarterly expenditures and revenues that will be posted to the Utah Public Transparency website. We've got a file with the lieutenant, registry with the lieutenant governor that's coming up in April. And then we've got to submit our quarterly payroll reports here in April, along with, I know Dallas and Leal has been working on the municipal wastewater planning program report that we have to submit every year with the Division of Water Quality, right? Is that the Division of Water Quality? So they're working on that. That'll be due next week.
Yeah, we'll complete that and then we'll bring it to the board for approval.
Yeah, okay, great. We have completed, we have to renew our SAM.gov registration. That's been done. And then the ethical behavioral written pledge to trustees and employees, we have to do that annually. We'll be working on that with Andrew and some training. The GRAMA training is annual for the records officer, which is Leisle. She'll be working on that and that should be it, I believe, for that report, unless the board has any questions.
Something I forgot to ask, Alice, is the C7 ditch, we're hearing something about the C7 ditch maybe changed as they want to extend the dike or something? How's that going to affect us?
Nothing's hit my radar. No internal changes on our property.
Okay.
So something we'll keep our ears open for, though.
Okay, we're gonna bypass Andrew.
Mr. Chairman, if I could make a recommendation
Yeah.
on the agenda. We do have the Copper Club.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about that. Let's move them up on top.
If you're okay, that's
No.
item K3.
Yep. Let's go ahead and do that right now.
Okay. Do you guys want to come up?
Come up here and sit in the hot seats. The battery's dead? Oh, okay.
Just takes a minute to respond. Okay, go ahead and make yourself comfortable right there. Thank you. So, Trevor, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So board and chair, as you know, we've had a lot of conversations over the last few weeks with the golf course. We've looked in depth at what the constructability of, so I'll just start with what they have out there. They have a large meter, 4-inch, and then they have a 1-inch for their inside water to the clubhouse. And those are both in the same vault. And so what we're looking to do is extend our secondary water that's along 2600 to those vaults, and then we would be switching over the larger meter to the secondary water, and then we would be pulling the small 1-inch meter out, putting it in its own meter box, and tying that over to the drinking water for essentially a new service. And those three main things are here. We've looked at parts and material that are needed for each of those, and then the amount of labor and the equipment needed to construct those.
So they'll have to go from a 4-inch meter to a 6-inch meter?
That one will remain the same,
Oh, okay.
same size. Right.
Oh, so it's the culinary water that we'll have to,
Well, we're pulling the 1-inch out of the 4-inch meter
oh,
box.
because it's in the same vault.
Yeah. Yep. And then, so we've gone in depth and looked at hours, exact parts and materials, the equipment we would need, if that's a Traco, it's a dump truck, it's, all of those things. And we've provided costs for those. And then what we've done here is based on discussions that we've had with the board and with the golf course and internally, is we've created a cost split. And we've got Copper Cub on one side and Magna Water District on the other side. And what we're proposing is that for the 10-inch mainline extension, that is a benefit to the district. It moves our secondary water along, and it provides an ability to connect. And Magna Water District would provide labor and equipment to extend that 10-inch.
Okay.
Copper Club would then do the parts and material for that 10-inch extension, and then they would also cover the parts and material, labor, and equipment for the 4-inch connection and the 1-inch connection.
Okay.
And those numbers are all there. We wanted to get the board's, thoughts on that cost split and anything else, and also hear from the golf course.
Yeah, before they start, I will just say we appreciate meeting with Jared. We feel like under his leadership down there, as representative of the current board, we've noticed that he seems real proactive and wanting to get the golf course in a better spot. And so he has been, when we met with them, I think you guys understood and were willing to do this split as shown. So before we brought it to the board, we made sure that that was something that they were willing to do. And he communicated some things to me that I think is positive in terms of the participation on the golf course over the winter has been positive. And I think what they're looking at in the future, and so I'll turn the time over, you can maybe explain where you guys are at.
Yeah, so thanks for having us again. Like when we began these discussions back in November, the goals of the course were initially to reduce operating costs. After talking and dealing with this, for the past several months, using water responsibly is gonna be our #1 goal from this point forward. We realized the benefit to Magna Water and to residents of Magna is not just extending that line further down the road, but it's also with freeing up that culinary water that we're currently using for our greens and using the reuse water. When it's all said and done, we don't know if that's the final cost or not.
Correct.
We'd be willing to pay 10% of that initial cost, when we get the final bill. We're also gonna, we've applied with Magna for some financial help we would use that money towards this project as well. And then, anything else? I think that's where we are right now. We wanna get it done. We wanna get that done. We realize the other part of the golf course is gonna be a bigger project. I've been speaking with one of our members, who's a contractor, who is in touch with somebody who has sonar equipment to test the gallons per minute going through that HDPE. And so we're gonna try to track our water usage versus water loss on the fairway side.
Right.
So we're gonna do that. I don't know how much that's gonna cost us, probably a couple $1,000 for him to be out there for a day. But we are working towards that. We eventually wanna move the entire course over. But again, we would need help from you guys with.
So Jared, I gotta ask you a question. So out there, so is there grants that you guys can keep applying for, you know what I'm saying, that you're looking? Because I know the one that Brittany sent over, and then of course the one through us, the city. But I was just gonna see if, we can keep looking too for grants, and maybe Trevor can tell you a way to look. Don't ask me because I wouldn't even know where to look, but he might be able to tell you where he could, possibly look to, and whatever we can do as the district to try to help you guys that way too.
Right, yeah, I appreciate that, and the hard part that the position we're in right now is we cannot apply for grants.
Okay,
We just can't. We are operators, we're not owners,
okay.
and it's a boundary that the owner is not, willing to.
Okay, so I'm gonna meet, he sent me some days and we're gonna meet next week, so let me talk to him about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Because it would benefit them too.
it would, but we can go, we can have, if you guys can apply on our behalf as well.
Right.
It would be helpful.
Okay,
And, we can research those grants. I'm happy to do it. We're happy to do it. Anything that we can do, we're happy to do.
okay, great. Okay, we need to make a motion on this.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, I motion that we do the extension of the 10-inch water line based on the outline they've got here for the participation amount for the extension of the secondary water line to the Copper Club.
I'll second that.
The motion second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna leave you guys.
Now we gotta get up with Steve and Matt and see when we can get it done. Huh?
I'm leaving you guys. So Jeff, I'll let you take over.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, so We're at J then, Trevor?
Start
or
at J1.
Maverick?
Okay. All right, we'll jump to there. So we've been working with Maverick Inc. And this is where their relatively new Maverick store is on 8400 and SR 201. And this easement is for Westside Collection Project Number 2. We've got that design complete, and there's a portion of that design shown here. I'm going to zoom in. This red section here is what is inside of Maverick's property. And in order to build this, maintain it into the future, we've requested an easement from Maverick. The amount of that is the 2,599 square feet. So through our discussions with the Maverick, we've got to the point where they're okay with the easement that we have, and that is basically our standard easement that we use for all of our developments.
And that doesn't affect their operation or anything?
It doesn't. It doesn't. And they kind of came late in the game and asked for compensation. I was hoping that they wouldn't, but they did. And they offered initially $16 a square foot. We had some conversations back and forth, and that we were able to reach an agreement at $10 a square foot for the cost of that easement. So that's where we get to the $25,990. It is a little bit higher than we got from Kennecott. They were at, we did 6. But
That's pretty good.
these properties along here and, working with the corporation, I feel like we've got a good deal there, and we do need it for our project. So I recommend the board approving us paying Maverick for that easement.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
If you have any
Mr.
questions, let me know.
I would like to propose then you approve the purchase of the sewer easement for Maverick in the amount of $25,990 for West Side Collection Project 2.
I'll second that.
Been motioned and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on. We have here our Haynes well number 8 replacement. This is the well drilling. As you see on that recommendation letter, we had 3 contractors put in bids on that. We have a base bid price and we have a bid alternate, and that bid alternate is just sound fencing in case that becomes an issue. We really only have, one residential property that's close. And so we thought having that in there, and we'll use it as needed. But pretty tight bids, from 1.1 to 1.2. The engineer,
Does Whittison ever, do they just do pump
they don't,
replacement? They don't
yeah,
drill?
pretty much development and replacement. But laying equipment, the low bid, they're working on several other projects in the valley. Our engineer is currently working on one with them. They're a great contractor.
I'm surprised Lang does all the big stuff going clear 3,600 feet in the ground. I'm really surprised they come in like that.
Yeah. So this was under the engineer estimate at 1.3. It's a good bid, and recommend approving that, and we'll move forward as soon as we can.
One consideration, when you talk about just one person may be affected by the sound and the cost of it, we might approach them, if the board's willing, to just put them in a hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's that noisy?
Well,
I
I
mean-
mean, that's the thing, is we put it in there as a way to have it if we needed it.
Yeah.
We don't know that it's even gonna be an issue.
Yeah, if it becomes
or-
an issue, that might be a much less expensive option, and we've done that before we've done that with other clients.
Done that.
It's that noisy, huh?
It can be at times. So that might be something
And it depends
How long will
on,
it
it depends
take?
on the neighbor.
Is it a couple weeks or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's
you might. be
all
much
the
less.
activity, yeah.
depending.
Some portions of it are much louder than others, but,
Really?
yeah.
Huh, that's-
So it's something to consider.
Yeah, that's,
It doesn't affect this award recommendation.
it does not.
So we
Nope.
won't know until May, till that's when we get to start if everything goes okay, right?
Yeah,
This
that's
work
what
will
we're
be done
looking
in
at
May.
is that, yeah, well, with, where are we at? We'll likely issue notice to proceed. They'll put their contract documents together and then they'll mobilize. We'll be starting around May, I would assume.
And then it'll be
And then
about
it'll
2
be a
weeks
few weeks
re-drilling.
beyond that, yeah. So my recommendation is, you know, we'll have them just start doing their thing and we'll see if the neighbor complains and then
How
we'll,
far away is the neighbor?
it's, I mean, it's gotta be,
300-400 feet?
yeah, 400 or 500 feet, yeah.
300 feet.
So,
That's Martin, right?
Martin?
yeah.
Have we noticed noise in the past? Have we ever had a complaint?
No, and it's just like, you know, Clint mentions one where you never know what type of neighbor you're gonna have, you know, and it is a loud process, and so we just wanted it there as a safety.
So are we drilling a whole new well?
We are,
Okay.
yep.
How far away are we from the existing one?
50 feet.
50 feet away, okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you, Trevor. I'd like to make a motion for the Haynes Well Number 8 replacement well drilling project. Award to Lang Equipment LLC in the amount of $1,104,305.
I'll second that.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next one here is, we're required to update our drinking water source protection plan, and that is due by the end of 2026, December. And so we've been working with Horrocks on several of our well projects. They're familiar with each of our well fields. And so I asked them to put together a task order to update that drinking water source protection plan. And that's what this is. And that will include, you know, whenever you drill a new well, you've got to update that. And so with us doing this, Haynes number 8 will be able to fit that into this update also.
Also, it's tied into the well.
So the timing of that kind of works out well for us. So if you have any questions on this, otherwise I recommend approval
Okay.
and we'll get them going.
Thank you, Trevor. I'd like to make a motion for the Horrocks task order for drinking water source protection plan update in the amount of $22,115.50.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, number 4 here is a task order from Hanson Allen Luce. It's for an update to our risk and resilience report and our emergency response plan. So we did each of these 5 years ago. It was a requirement by the EPA. And they're required to be updated every 5 years, and this year is our year for update. And so Hanson Allen Luce is the one that helped us create those reports, and I've asked them to put together this to update those. And mainly that is, you know, if you have any changes, you know, staffing, if you've made improvements that were listed in the previous reports, just things of that nature. There hasn't been really any significant changes in what the report needs as far as what the EPA is requiring. It's just making sure we're up to date and any changes that we might like as well.
So it's been 5 years since they did that? Didn't they also do a quantity, what kind of resources we have? Didn't Hanson Luce do that?
Yeah, so
How long ago was that?
That was at the 5 year. They looked at, all of our equipment, each of our sites, our backup power generation, you know, all of those things within there, so.
Did that too?
So
Was
we'll
that
kind
all
of
the
go,
same thing 5 years ago? It was all the same?
correct, these 2 reports, yep.
Okay.
So this is two separate reports that they'll be
This isn't as
updating.
in-depth as the one we did 5 years ago.
It is not,
No,
it's an update.
it's just a requirement from, okay. So I'd like to make a motion for Hanson Allen Luce task order for risk and resilient report for emergency response plan update in the amount of $18,500.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, Dallas?
All right, thank you, Board. We've got a couple surplus items that we'd like to take to auction or wherever it is they go. The first item that we've got is our old plow truck. It's the 2007 model. It's been replaced by the F-350. So we've taken the fuel tank out and the plow off of that, and we kept it around for about a year to make sure that we weren't gonna need it. I think we're in a place now where we can send it home.
How many miles has it got on the truck?
It's just under 150,
150,000.
good hard miles.
Any estimate on value?
That's kind of been the Bob and Lee Isle thing.
Yeah.
Shit, that's like a new truck, you guys. You know what those are worth now? I don't know if you're gonna get the money out of it or not. I don't know. Mick's kind of concerned about it because it is paid for and everything.
I mean, we can keep it if it's not, we just want to make sure everything's being used.
Yeah.
So if it's sitting, it feels like, but we can keep it as a backup.
Yeah, we can park down sewer plant or over at the EDR plant. And
Yeah, it's been at the sewer plant.
it's still a good truck and we're not spending a lot of money on it, right?
We're not spending any money on it, no.
Yeah,
I'd say we keep.
yeah, I think, if it's okay, I think we need to hang on to it.
Sure.
Since it's paid for, you're
We were
not
told you
getting,
won't go in anything that's been to the sewer plant. though.
I won't, Ed will.
But Ed's worked down at the sewer plant, so.
Yeah, he'll handle it.
You could
We're
power
always
wash
tired
it
of
and then
bouncing
bring it
around
up here.
vehicles.
We'll,
well, you got
we'll
room
try.
to park it down the EDR plant, it wouldn't take up any space
Yeah,
down
we
there, right?
can, we can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know, Mick was just a little concerned when I seen the picture, I went, hell, that truck's in pretty good shape.
Where
But I
we're
mean,
bringing new employees in and things, I mean, we
Well-
could use that.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking for backup, but if it's not costing any money, it's not got engine problems or anything, I mean, 100,000 right now, a 2007 has been bringing, and there again, it's a diesel, this is a gas.
Correct.
Yeah, they've been bringing about 20, 30,000. I mean, people are kind of going back on those. But if you go to the auction, you're just not getting the money out of them. No. So, I mean,
Well, we'll keep them and we'll try to make it.
Keep it.
well, I think we'll hang on to it for a little bit.
Yeah, sure. As long as it's
I
being
mean, we're
used.
always, at the canyon, we're bouncing around with
Sure.
Pi, whatever, it'd be nice to have something around.
Sure.
I think we keep it.
I hate to say that if it's not, you want to get rid of anything that's not being used, but I don't know.
It's
It
got a
always-
battery saver
There's
on it,
always a
so, yeah,
time that
I'm
you
sure
get
it's fine.
something repaired and you need a backup.
Yeah,
Or you have to take it in for recall and it's tied up for 3 days or something, I don't know.
yeah, and as soon as you sell it, you need it.
You're gonna need it.
And 158, that's not that big
Well,
a
as long as
mileage.
it's not costing money and it's not burning oil and things like that, you know what I mean? And we've got the space, I'm just thinking we ought to hang on to it a little longer.
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
plan on that. There are a couple other items. Do you know of? We're
So-
covering for Lee Isle
So
here.
the microphone stand, I don't know about the copier, but I do know the microphone stand. It's the old wooden podium that's been stored in this closet.
Yeah,
We replaced it with this smaller one that
yeah.
wasn't in our
Oh,
way.
yeah, I don't see a problem there. No. No, you didn't have any.
And then the printer, Matt?
I don't know what you can get
The
for.
printer's down the EDR, and I think it got to be where it's obsolete and having
We don't
problems.
service it.
So
We don't service it, it's been in the back office down there, we have a new one we've had for probably 5 or
For the
7 years
copier.
down the copier.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of hidden problems sometimes.
Yeah,
All the ink and stuff's more expensive.
yeah, and that's,
So how do we advertise that? We just post it, we'll advertise it?
Yeah, Lee Isle will put that together, and, put a advertisement together with those items, and then we'll just notice them of a bid, anybody that wants to bid on it.
Okay.
So we're gonna do everything, or you're gonna make a motion, I guess, here.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to hang on to the 2007 truck, but to go ahead and publicly go for bids on the ARBC 320 copier and the microphone stand. I think you're gonna end up throwing the microphone stand away, but give it a try.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion is seconded, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. the aisle? Investment meeting?
Yeah, I apologize, everybody.
You're fine.
So the investment committee meeting had a meeting, it was for the period December 31st, 25, and they made some recommendations to add a fund to the watch list. And then the other one was doing well, it passed all its tests, and to move it back to, or take it off the watch list.
Okay,
So we just need approval of basically the minutes and the watch list.
so basically the first item, the Vanguard Long-Term Bond Index, you're gonna put on the watch list, that's the motion we're making?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just keep on watch list.
I think if you made the motion, just approval of investment meeting
The
minutes,
okay,
outlining the funds. If you read, I think that covers us if he reads that, right?
Correct, yeah.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve the investment meeting minutes outlining the funds moved to and from the watch list as recommended.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion is seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
We did item 3.
operations building, Trevor?
Yep. So in here, I just wanted to give an update on that. The first sheet that just thought it would be nice to kind of see some dates that we're anticipating for this. Up at the top, we're anticipating around 12 to 13 months to construct the project as a whole once we get going. Some target dates on there. Final design later this month in April, which at that point we would post an advertisement to bid. And then we would have bids due towards May, a month after. So May 21st is our target date there. That means that we would have something to the board in the June meeting for approval.
Okay, which will have
Bids?
bids on?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
And then just moving, down the line from there, that would make substantial completion around July of '27, with final completion about a month later in August. And I've kind of just highlighted those different dates within the calendar there. And then, we've got an updated cost opinion from at 100%. And that puts the project total at 1.993 with a 10% contingency to $2,191,000. And then just wanted to run through some of the plans just to get that in front of everyone. So to orient yourself, we've got our existing operations building over here to the east. The oxidation ditches are to the north off page. And so if you're down in the sewer treatment plant, we've got, a grassier area here and our fence, and that's where the building would be. There would be a gate to the west side of that. Our other gate, number 2, construction gate, is here. And so that would be the main access for this operations building. We've got pavement and parking along here. And then here are a drawing of the interior of that building. There's a large SCADA control room where the operators will have their stations and we'll have our SCADA controls. There's a network room, which will have our SCADA and our internet racks in there. There's a break room, kitchen area. We've got cabinetry along the wall, mechanical room here. And we've got, one of the main things here was making sure we had a way for our operators to clean themselves and, not go home with any contamination on them. So we've got our locker room facility here. This is the main locker room, a few restrooms, and then 4 showers, changing areas and lockers. And then we have a unisex one down here in the event we had, a female operator or the need for that. And then a utility room where we have this space for uniform storage, also a washer and a dryer, so that we can take care of those uniforms here.
Is this a single level building?
It is. We have a kind of a mudroom entrance here on the west side. The main entrance is to the north where a lot of the parking, and then we have a mudroom for the operators to access and put their boots and things as they need. If we go to the next drawing, we've got building elevation.
So question, Trevor. So really, all the entrance needs to come in through here, through the mudroom?
The normal day operations will come through that mudroom area. And the
Because
showers.
if they come in on that backside,
We have, lost the word, rugs, things to, collect any dirt for them to wipe. But in the mudroom, we're gonna have a boot wash.
Oh,
And
okay.
places for them to set those boots so that they're not coming in with that material.
contamination, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That looks good.
Building elevations, we've kind of blended the different types of material and colors that we have out there. Some of our buildings along the east side, like the Headworks and the Reuse Building, have a gray block. Some of the buildings to the north and the existing operations building have more of a brown colored block. And so we've designed this to kind of incorporate the two different color schemes that are out there. We have stair access to the roof for maintenance.
Will we have a lock gate on that or something? Or I guess the whole place is secure anyway?
Yeah, but at the bottom of the stairs, there's still a swing gate that locks.
Okay.
Yep, and then just another elevation view showing that. And this, just to note, like the top section here, if you were to drive by, that's the view that you would see. And that is it.
Did
Do
we
you have
have
some
any
more
requirements?
questions? What's that?
Did we have any special requirements because we're so close to the,
So the setback is the main thing, and this building could be basically right up against the existing fence we have because it's set back already from our property line and the road right away.
okay,
And part of this is, the RV station will be
ripped down?
removed,
Yeah, it's gotta be.
so.
Yeah, it's gotta be. There's so many other places now that are fast food, doesn't require maintenance on our part.
Yep.
Okay, Trevor, thank you, that was a great job. So I guess we're gonna make a motion to move
No.
ahead on the operations building.
Yeah, I don't know that it needs a motion. It was more of just a discussion, and
Okay,
we're moving forward. And if you had any thoughts or anything you
we
want
don't
us
need
to
to
do
make a
there.
motion to move forward?
Okay. The next one here is the office landscape modifications, and this is again just, for information, discussion. So what I have in here is our main kind of demolition plan, and it also shows some of our new planting areas. And so the red is everything that's kind of new, with the black being things that are existing that we're maintaining out there. And so,
You're taking out our rock baskets?
no, so those, what the red that's shown is like on the other side of these baskets.
Oh, the other side.
Yeah, and let's see, number 2,
So the baskets are where the circles are?
yeah, so if
Looks
you
like
look,
it's-
yeah, the baskets are kind of this area.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
this
there.
this is the area in front of those.
Is that just
Not
concrete
not
walkway?
taking it out, we're just replacing some of the material that's there,
Is it just
refreshing.
concrete walkway right there?
No, there's some mulch areas right there and lighting. But I think some of the things that you'll notice is over here on the parking lot, this area has really just kind of turned into a wasteland. I think there's a dead tree there currently, and so that'll be updated. And then a little bit along here, we have this retention pond. We'll kind of go down inside of there and we'll get some plantings in there. And then our native area up in this, we'll have a little kind of skirt along that sidewalk that will tie that in. And then a lot of it is replacing planting, putting in some other plants that are more Utah native, more low water alternatives for the public. Our grasses have kind of, because just proximity and wind, they've kind of cross-contaminated each other, and so you can't tell that they're separate grasses. They've just kind of all grown together, so we'll resod those for some grass alternatives. And then we're pushing for signage and education and making, this comfortable for the public to come and visit and spend some time and contemplate how they might want to local scape their yard. And so some of the next drawings in here show some of the features and signage that we have planned. So as you drive in at the front gate or just past the front gate when you're going to get to our parking lot, we do have a sign, but it doesn't really highlight the demonstration garden. It tells customers where to go, how to, through the drive-through and things, but we wanted to add in, a little direction to get them to the demonstration garden, have that stand out. And then as they park, have a sign that kind of welcomes them if they want to walk back here. Hey, come check it out. We've got some information. We've got some plants. And then once they get to the back, there's kind of this main area. It's a concrete circle. We wanted to have that be a spot for them to, get more information about what's here, and some of the plantings that we have and the purpose for this. And that would include, a shade structure pergola. And then we do have some benches that are out there that are unshaded, and we wanted to put some shade structures over those benches.
I thought we talked about putting some plaques out in front of some of the identifying, but it was kind of expensive.
Well, we've got some pricing now, and signage and even these structures came in a lot better pricing than we had initially anticipated.
They made a couple, he'll show you, they had some suggestions to cut down cost from what had been originally estimated, and it's getting pretty close to what the budget was that the board approved.
Because I think it's real important to have a plaque showing, hey, this is this plant, so people can.
So we have those out there. We're trying to kind of update those and give a little more information that, hey, this is a local plant. It uses less water. This is, one that does use, it's local, but it uses a lot of water. To kind of give them that variety. So I've got some pictures of those. This is a concept of that.
Yeah, I've seen it right here. It looks
Pergola.
Looks nice out there now, the trees are big.
Yeah, I think shade over the benches would be really.
And then, our bench shade structure, and a local fabricator is who they've reached out to get some pricing and some concepts on these, and they're capable of doing that. And then here's just some, more pictures of that. And I think this is what you're speaking to, Jeff. What is the plant? We'll have some information about the type of water that you would anticipate for that type of plant, so they can quickly see that. This isn't final. There's the idea of a QR code, because Jordan Valley has they have an extensive catalog of plants and a lot of information on those. And so if there's a way for us to utilize what they already have, we'll do that to educate the customer. And we also want to put on the individual plant signs, whether it's Utah native or not. So just kind of wanted to get those in front of the board and let you see the progress we've made to date and our plan there. We're at a period in time where it's best to wait until early fall to start this type of work. And so we're in it.
It's not so hot.
Better for the plants, better for the people working. And so we're not in a huge rush we're wrapping up the plans, and then we'll kind of wait and we'll bid that in time for the best.
The cost looks a lot better than it did before.
Yeah. I think we talked about having, you know, some of the like bench and shade structures being as a separate item in case we were above our budget. That would be a way for us to cut back, and our main things would be the planting and the signage, the educational components of that. So we'll bid it as all together, with those being able to be eliminated if needed to stay within our budget.
Okay,
Thank you.
that sounds really great. So,
So that was, again, just for discussion, and
do we need to make a motion on that to move
Don't.
ahead? Okay, we don't?
no.
Okay. So Clint, you're gonna talk about approval for the conservation level?
Yeah, so, there's, as the board likely knows, we've had a very dry season this past winter. It was a record low snowpack, since they've been keeping records, and it peaked 3 weeks early. 3 weeks earlier than usual. So the situation for the snowpack is not looking good at all. It was also the driest winter on record across statewide by about 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. And even locally in Salt Lake, it was even higher. So we've had low snowpack, warm temperatures. The one positive is the soil moisture conditions are pretty good, actually, considering all those things. We attended the Jordan Valley board meeting yesterday. Virtually, I attended that. They made the decision to move to a level 2 drought response. Their baseline is level 0. For reference, so they skipped a level and went to level 2 out of, I think they could have justified level 1 or level 2. But the sentiment from the board that I took away, and all these board members sit on all of the cities and the other agencies, so they're the ones that this actually affects. The sentiment from most of the board members was, even if we could get away with a level 1, we want the message out there to be, it's serious. We need to go to a more serious drought level.
Conservative.
Now, what about, for us also, drinking water is a valuable resource, but
Right.
what about customers that are secondary water, where we've got all the reuse water we want?
Yes.
What do we do in that case? We've got two separate situations there.
We do, and that's something for the board to consider. I think you could make an argument that for us locally, here in Magna Water, our situation, we could probably stay in the level 1.
Our standard level.
Our level 1 is voluntary conservation, that's what we call it.
Okay.
If we were to move, which is something we would consider that would be more in line with what the rest of the valley's doing, I think, would be to move to a level 2. That would be mandatory conservation, where we would put in place more formal, hey, you water on these 3 days a week, you water on these 3 days a week, no watering between 10 and 6. We would put some teeth behind that with some monitoring and enforcement. So, you know, it's a big effort. It creates quite a bit of work for us. But you know, it's one of those things where I think, do we want to really send the message? It sends the message for people to conserve water when they know it's no longer voluntary, it's that mandatory message.
Except, I think we should wait
And we can wait, that's the other
until
option.
July or something. Let's see how the spring is, because we're in a different situation than everybody else on Jordan Valley.
We are.
And I think in our situation, especially our secondary water users, there's no reason for them to cut down on the ball fields and stuff like, we wanna sell as much reuse as we can, right? Isn't that what we wanna?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
There's no reason to cut back on secondary water. We got reuse water. We need to
yeah, I think,
sell it.
yes, I think that's truth to that. I
I don't
think,
wanna make a lot of work for us trying to go to a higher level.
right.
There's nothing wrong with explaining to people, and they get the message from other people, but I think, there's nothing wrong with conservative, but in my opinion, it's up to Danny, but I think we ought to wait and see how the spring ends up.
I think that's definitely reasonable.
I like that idea there.
What I'd recommend, if the board would be okay with it, is maybe we take some more stronger messaging, but we don't change the level.
Okay.
If we just start telling people, hey, it's drought, you need to be
Well, they're
watching
seeing
your
it on
water.
TV and
They're
everything
seeing it
else,
on
so-
TV. It does help us if we want to get to this position. It doesn't mean we can't do it later, and then it gives people that warning
Yeah,
that it's coming. If we do it too soon out of nowhere, they might feel like they're hit
oh, yeah.
out of the blue.
Blasted, yeah.
So I would support that if the board's,
And where we got secondary water, and I'd like to hold off.
okay. So we'll put a flyer together that just is more of a push for
I
volunteer.
think we ought to notify our secondary water users for sure.
Yeah.
That we've got plenty of water on the reuse water, on the secondary water users only. And the rest will just keep on that level until we feel like, if we're not getting the rain and stuff by June, July,
Yeah.
then if you wanna clamp down, then we'll do that. But
The-
there could be a
the
lot
one-
of changes taking place. We could get a lot of
I'd
weather.
like the people that don't have secondary water to be conservative, just
Yeah.
explain to them to be, because I don't have secondary water. I'm very conservative.
You've gotta really admit, the snow and the water we got last week was very unexpected. We got a lot more than we expected.
Sure. The thing I will say that our board, again, we're somewhat insulated because we take Jordan Valley water consistently at the same rate.
Right.
And we don't use more than our contract.
No.
For the communities that rely so much on Jordan Valley water,
Yeah,
this change that Jordan Valley Water made could be very financially costly to them if they don't conserve.
oh, absolutely.
So we don't have that same worry here, so I think it gives us more flexibility. But I think that's why many of them voted to go to the level 2, because they're in communities that will be impacted by that. So if they don't have those motivations to conserve water, it could hurt them. And if they don't conserve water, they're more reliant on even more strict things the next year, yeah. So they're in a different circumstance, but I just want to make the board aware
What
of
about the
that.
high school? Have they got artificial turf and they've gotta water that with drinking water? Is that right?
The new high school does,
They have secondary. I don't know exactly what their split is of what they water with drinking and secondary.
Cause I thought they said they could only use drinking water on the artificial turf.
that is true.
Is it?
As far as the last we've been communicated, it was,
And I'm just wondering if with our new secondary water, are we in a situation that they could use? Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe they have to use drinking because they're keeping it cool. I just wonder, we ought to look at that
Yeah, we
and
can.
approach them about that because that's probably your biggest single use of drinking water is on that artificial turf. Now, what about the old school where the old turf is down there? Are they still watering that to preserve it? I heard they were gonna auction it off.
I don't know on the turf. I doubt that they're doing anything.
We ought to probably talk to them about that and find out what is that situation, because those two places are our largest use of drinking water for a single source. And so if it starts to get hot and everything, you're gonna see quite a big usage there.
Yeah, we can do that.
But aren't they on the secondary water? The old school?
Yeah,
They are.
Not the
They are.
ball field, not
The
not-
problem is that the artificial turf,
Artificial turf will not allow,
when it was canal water, they couldn't use it.
yeah, because it will grow bacteria.
Yeah, and I don't think they have switched it on the
And we ought
leaves.
to talk to them about that. I think we ought to, at least approach them and find out their situation and show them what we have to offer for water now on secondary water. And maybe there's a possibility they could use it now, because we're not using canal water.
Okay.
But, I think that would be our biggest conservative, because now we're working now to get the golf course off. That's a big user. So the school, I think, the two schools, the two artificial turfs are probably the biggest use of drinking water. We ought to talk to them about that.
Okay,
They
sounds
could
good. We'll
probably
do
use the
that.
reuse water. Oh,
Possibly, I don't know, but
what do you
let's-
think, man? You think they could, or?
I have no idea what the requirements are on that
unless we
artificial
talk to
turf.
them, we won't know.
I mean, it's gotta be chlorinated. It's acceptable for golf courses and,
Right.
you know, municipal uses. It's in their yards, so if
Yeah.
they, so it should be acceptable.
Well, I think we should talk, to me, that effort is gonna be more conservative than beating on the public. So
Yeah,
that's what I think, but.
Yeah, that's fine. So I think if you're not making any change, I don't think we need a motion, right?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, as long as we're not changing the level. But I think we ought to still contact the school in both regards and find out what they're doing. And what we can do to conserve our drinking water. Okay, Trevor, Gateway?
Yeah, okay, so we have a master is that what it's called? Yeah, master development agreement that was in place when the development was initially created. And we've had different addendums to that along the way, and this is the third addendum to that. And this is specifically to the 4100 South. And this just, I mean, Claire can probably speak to some of what's in here, but just a quick overview is an addendum to that master service agreement that speaks to the off-site water and secondary water infrastructure in 4100. It just lays out, you know, the installation of that and I think it has some timelines in there.
Is this basically agreement saying we're gonna put it in, but you're gonna owe us for it,
That they are going to build that infrastructure, which is what we're,
What
you know,
we're
like,
hoping for.
we had a pre-construction meeting about it already. This is just an agreement to solidify that with DR Horton, that they will be the ones doing that.
and legal counsel was involved in this?
Correct, they drafted the whole thing. And so, right now, from what my understanding is that it has been submitted to DR Horton. They are reviewing it, and if they have comments, but what we're looking for is approval from the board to, you know, inform, continue to work with the legal counsel and with DR Horton to finalize this and sign it, right?
With, as long as there's no substantive
Okay,
change.
so I can make a motion to accept the third addendum to move forward with DR Horton for the Little Valley Master Development Agreement, 4100 South Culinary and Secondary Water.
I'll second that.
Okay, man, motion is seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Leal, no fault?
So, we've put this together, and in this policy, it proposes a few things. It says that, on the first page, it says, damage from district-owned water or sanitary sewer lines. It says the district shall pay from its operating budget reasonable or actual expenses for damages and cost to clean up. Anyway, then it says if we do pay, it would be dependent on the restrictions in this policy and if there's funds in the district's budget, basically. And then the person or the homeowner, the claimant, would sign a full release of any liability or anything after that payment.
So who put this together, Leal?
We put it together. It hasn't been reviewed by legal yet, so that still needs to happen, but there are a few items in the policy that the board can discuss. We did put some criteria.
In red?
The red is subject to whatever the board would like to do.
That looks good.
Right now, it says 10,000, I believe. Sorry, I'm getting there. Maximum payment would be 10,000 per incident at any one location. And then the maximum would be 100,000 in any fiscal year. But some of the criteria is,
So the challenge with that amount is most of the
cleanup.
most of the costs, we're in the $35,000 to $40,000
Sometimes.
range, it seems like on average, is that fair?
Most recently.
I think on
you're
average,
saying-
just the cleanup is like 15 to maybe 30. That's just to clean up.
Okay. So that's separate from,
So to keep this 10,000, do we have control of the cleanup then, instead of letting them just call anybody?
Possibly.
Okay,
I mean, we could meet with providers and see if they can put us under some type of contract pricing, maybe.
I think it's a start, because like the last one that just came in last month, that was atrocious,
Yeah, it was
That was ridiculous.
38,000.
where he just went ahead and did what he wanted to do, and you guys did an excellent job documenting all that stuff, so I think you did a good job on that.
Yep.
You guys crossed your Ts and dotted your Is, so that's good, Leal, I appreciate that. So, I say we get that to our legal counsel, have them review it, and then you're gonna talk to the insurance company about it also?
Yeah, I mean, if we
I guess the thing to consider is, I don't know that going from 5,000 has been the historic, one,
5,000 was
if
the
we
limit.
had it through the insurance, right? It does going from 5,000 to 10,000 really solve what the board's concern is? That, I don't know that it does, is what I'm getting at. That's the one item. Do we go to an amount closer to what we think it's gonna be to cover it fully? That's the question.
But you're telling me on average it's been 35,000, right? 35 to 50,000?
Yeah.
There's
Do you
also
have- do you wanna
there's also
clarify?
a sentence, like the next paragraph down, it does disclose, it says, the district may reimburse to the property the actual cost of this cleanup and sanitation. So it does, there's a clause in there that enables the district to pay 100% of the cleanup if
Okay.
they so choose, based
Okay.
on each,
So
you know,
that's, I just wanna make that.
situation.
I wanna make that clearer then.
That's just the cleanup.
That's two scenarios.
Yeah.
The 100%, or the 10,000 and the 100%?
So basically, there's kind of two sections. One addresses the cleanup, and the other addresses the
Maximum?
restoration and just restoration, right?
Restoration.
That's always-
Restoration.
That's always where we've been in the biggest argument, because the homeowner thinks his restoration is more than it's actually worth.
Sure. And
So
it
how
does
do
say
we-
in here, it's gotta be less depreciation, it can't be,
Okay.
you know, it can't be to buy it new price. And the restoration could be limited to the 10 minimum and maximum 100,000.
I think, personally, I think legal counsel needs to go through
Yeah,
this too.
that's,
I agree.
Because they're gonna base it on what we've done in the past and then make a recommendation back. I think it's good. I would rather limit it to 10,000. I don't know how you can limit to 100,000 a year, because is that per incident? I mean,
that would be total paid out of the.
because we have no idea what the maximum would be
Yeah,
a year.
exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, I'd love to say that'd be great if it was only that much, but
Don't know how many
we just
I
don't
think
know.
that would be a helpful target. Maybe we would have that as a helpful target to how much we fund,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how much our target fund in that fund would be. so maybe that's a little higher than we anticipate.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to be thinking about as we send it to the,
I see some of the wording in here looks really good because I've been very impressed how our people are right on top of this thing. And the last one that came in here was the customer's fault. No matter what anybody says, the proof was in their report. And to me, other than the unknown manhole on 8400, we really have done I think you guys have done a really good job keeping up on these, and we've checked in the sewers and make sure they're not built up. And so I think you've done a really good job. This is just another way for us to protect ourselves. I think that's a good job.
I feel they done a real good job, and I couldn't believe he didn't get his insurance involved in it.
No,
you know?
he didn't do anything. And like I said, it just proved to me you guys have done a really good job. You're on top of it, and
They did. They
I
documented
think-
it good.
I think it's a good no fault policy. I really do.
We did follow up with, is Garcia, is that their last name?
Martinez.
Martinez, excuse me. Martinez, after last board meeting, I called their insurance, the American Family,
Yeah,
and I said, would you please contact our insurance so that you guys can get on the same page of like the whole story?
yeah.
And that did happen. They did contact our insurance, and our insurance said that they gave them their notes on
The whole
the
report.
issue. But I didn't feel like it was our responsibility to call their insurance again to find out.
No.
Yeah, so that's where we left it right there.
Okay. No, I think you did. a
I
good
don't
job.
know if Martinez got paid
I don't know.
or what.
But you did what you're supposed to do. I'm impressed. I think you guys did great. So, do we need to make a motion on this? Because I say this is ready to go to legal counsel and have them review it.
If you want to make that motion, that'd be
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for our no-fault policy draft to be reviewed by our legal counsel.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion is seconded. All in favor? Aye. I don't think Mickey would have any question about the amount or anything. I think it's good, and I think he'd be happy it was tied down.
Okay, good.
Okay, next board meeting on May 14th.
Hey, we need to go back to Andrew.
Did I miss you, Andrew?
I was out of it.
He was,
Oh, I'm sorry, you're
No,
right.
you're all right.
Go back
Yeah,
to
I'm
item,
sorry,
item I6.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
No worries. So
Okay,
currently, we're staffed at 34 of our 36 positions. One of them's posted in-house currently, will be going out on Monday. The other one will be posted in-house today and will be going out a week from Monday. The trainings that we have going on is we just finished up on-site CPR, first aid, and AED training. We've got probably close to 95% of the employees through that. We didn't get the office staff able to run through that due to Desiree's resignation. We didn't have the staffing to pull them out for the training, so we'll be sending them over to Utah Safety Council for that. Upcoming trainings, Ed Tucker, who was in here this morning, is going to be attending traffic control technician training. Ed does a lot of our flagging when the construction crew has a bigger job on a bigger road that we need to set up flaggers for. And so it would be good to have Ed's trained in that. We've got Gene Stott, our facility maintenance employee, going to training with Jordan Valley, the qualified water efficient landscaper, so that he can take care of our gardens here and understand the water-wise plants that we're putting in.
yeah.
If we're gonna invest that kind of money into something like that, we also need to invest in our people to be able to take care of it.
Is he are we gonna do it ourselves? Or
He's not gonna do the install, but he will do the maintenance on it after.
is he qualified to do that?
He's gonna get qualified on the 22nd.
Okay, what is that gonna cost us?
It's about a $300 course that you go through. Jordan Valley has a company come in and do the training, and lots of landscapers throughout the valley take this training. We've got our manager lead team building coming up on the 23rd of April, and then we have Unified Fire coming in to do our on-site fire extinguisher training on the 29th. And then we also have an on-site confined spaces training coming up in June. This month's safety focus is fire safety. The only conference we have currently scheduled is WAU next week. Trevor, Clint, and Scott Beck will be attending that. We're currently going through the process of succession planning. We're meeting with employees, talking about where they hope to go within the organization and about what we see coming forward.
Is that in St. George, Clint?
Yes, it is.
And it's gonna be Trevor and Clint?
Trevor, Clint, and Scott Beck, water treatment operator, or wastewater treatment operator, sorry. And then the annual employee goals, we'll review those with you today.
Great.
That's it for me, board, if there's no other questions.
Okay, we're good. You good, Trevor? Everything good? Good. I didn't miss anybody, right?
Nope, done a
Okay.
good job.
I'd like to make a motion, to take a brief recess, and immediately following closed meeting to discuss purchase, exchange, lease, or sale of real property, including any form of water right or water shares, pending reasonable imminent litigation and collective bargaining issues pursuant Utah Code 524204 through 205. It is 11:46.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, it is 12:24, and I'll make a motion to close the closed meeting and reopen the public board meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been motion second, all in favor? Aye. And I'd like to make a motion to immediately meet in closed meeting and to discuss character, professional competence, physical, mental health of an individual pursuant to Utah Code 524204 through 205.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion seconded, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay, it is 1:05. And I'll make a motion to close the closed meeting and reopen public board meeting.
I'll second that.
It's been motion second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we don't have any action. You want to adjourn us?
You want me to make a motion we adjourn, or?
Yep, I'll second it.
Okay.
1:05, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.